So if I won the lottery tomorrow, there is certain things that I would do, certain things that I wouldn't do. Now, one thing that I would do if I won the lottery is that I would pay my mortgage off. That would probably be the number one thing that I'd do. So once I'd paid my mortgage off, one thing I would do is not touch the rest of it for 3 years. Now, believe it or not, I know someone who knows someone who actually did that, who won the lottery and put it all in the bank and didn't touch it for 3 years. Let me tell you why that's important. Many people will say, nah, you wouldn't do that. If you had £1 million in the bank, you'd want to spend it, you'd want to spend it. And yeah, the temptation would be there. But the fact is, most people, if they had that kind of money in the bank, would just go daft with it. They'd buy this, they'd buy that. Yeah, they might sort their friends and family out, but overall, they'd buy the holidays, they'd buy the cars, they'd spend this, they'd spend that. Maybe you would pay off a bit of debt, I don't know. But most people, that's why 40% of lottery winners go back to work, because what happens is the initial excitement wears off because of one thing. The one thing that they wouldn't do is appreciate the process. Now what I'm about to do, I'm not very good at. However, it's a process that I'm willing to get better at. So people, if they were to win that amount of money, would go daft with it mostly. That's what would happen. So we're getting there. We're not perfect yet. But it's not about perfection, it's about progression. So, whilst I'm not great at making coffee yet, when I get great, I'll appreciate it because of the mistakes I made, because of the skill that I built. When I managed to get a perfect heart in that cup, when I managed to serve the cup where people go, oh, that's good. That's going to make a hell of a difference to me. See, if I just went in, did it, and it was great the first time, I'd take it for granted. I wouldn't appreciate the process, right? Just as if you got a lot of money and you just went daft with it, yeah, you'd have some good times. But if you had access to that much too quickly, you wouldn't appreciate the process. See, if you waited a little while, you'd probably find that in 3 years, your priorities would be different. You'd use the money more wisely. You'd think about investing the money. So if you had 1 million win on the lottery, within years, you'd be starting to think, well, how can that be worth 10 million in the next 5-10 years? So you start to think a little bit better. That is if you have a growth mindset, of course. Most people have a fixed mindset. If I won the lottery, I'd do this, this, and this. And that's great, and I'm sure you'd have a lot of fun doing that. But what about the rest of your life? Making the rest of your life the best of your life. See, most people only think short term. So you wouldn't appreciate the process of things if you got it too quickly. So personally, and I say this with absolute honesty, I would pay my mortgage off. I would get that biggest debt out of the way. But then I would put it in a bank and I wouldn't touch it for 3 years. Because I'd be too worried about how quickly I would lose it, how quickly I would think, oh, I'll do this, or I'll do that, and see it decrease. So you think of a more longer term mindset when you are willing to wait. See, most people are just too impatient. The one thing's done now. It's like building a great body, right? Think about this. If you were to wake up tomorrow and have the body of your dreams, you wouldn't be able to keep it. Whereas if you took several years to build a body of your dreams, to lose a lot of weight, to get in shape, you appreciate the process. Therefore, you don't allow decisions to come into your life to say, that's going to ruin my progress. Once you've worked so hard for something, you appreciate it. This is what most people don't realize, is they want results so quick, but if you get them quick, and you can get results quick, let's face it, you can get liposuction. You can get a gastric band fitted. But the fact is, you don't appreciate the process. Therefore, you often go back the other way. This is why 40% of lottery winners go back to actual work, because they don't appreciate that thing. So I need you to think about this in your life. Where are you wanting results too quick, but without realizing that the process matters often more than the prize does.